Welcome to another vlog episode with Earthco Landscaping. My name is Chris Dubow and thank you for watching. Today is a very special day. We're getting close to the completion of this pool project that we've been working on. This started from a design drawn on paper and has incorporated a lot of the themes and elements that we like to use in our landscaping, practicing some xeriscaping techniques with drought-tolerant plants, as well as using rock to soften edges and incorporate into the landscaping some different and unique textures and feelings that we're gonna see that are represented in here. So without any further ado, let's take a look. So we're gonna start off over here, and the client had requested to do some sort of green space. This is for their dog to be able to have a space to use the bathroom. We don't do a lot of artificial turf installation, but we thought that this might be a nice little spot to incorporate, so encourage the dog to use this instead of the plant beds. So we can see some of the different things that we've done to incorporate rocks and buffer in between these plant beds here. This right here is a 1 to 3 inch river rock. It's called Appalachian, comes from the mountains of North Carolina. So it's fairly local to this area, and I think it really adds a nice touch. There's different options for rock. You can get rock in different sizes. We chose a larger size. Hopefully it will hold in place better. One last feature that we have to do here is to just add a few more rocks into the decorative gravel areas to kind of soften and naturalize it just a little bit more. Some of these pieces you see here, like this edging, we're gonna get rid of. We just use this to help us make this curve with this metal edging that we've installed over here. This is a Border Concepts product, and I really, really like it. It's a 1/4 inch by 6 inches tall. It is Borcon steel, so that means it's untreated, and it will naturally weather into a nice orange patina and gradually get to become a darker brown over time. Let's take a look at some of the plant options that we've chose for this area. Right here, this is one of my favorite boxwoods. This is a Green Mountain boxwood, and one thing that makes this so special is its conical shape. You can see we haven't really done too much pruning to this plant, and it really holds a tight form. I really like using these for an anchor point to establish the beginning or the end of a bed along foundations, or it could even be used as an individual specimen. So let's move on to a different area of the yard. We'll continue our tour around here. There's some other features you can see. We have a small fountain that was original. You can actually see where the fountain used to be over here on the wall. We gotta pressure wash that and clean that up. And oh man, look at this over here. This right here is one of my favorite plants. This is Bear's Britches, and look at this flower spike on here. These plants, they look almost prehistoric. The foliage, everything about it, the flowers, these flower spikes, they can be up to 6 feet tall. And I mean, how could you not like that? Just look at how incredible those flowers look. Moving around, let's take a look. Oh, okay. So we were talking about how we were addressing the yard and bringing up the level. You can see where this fountain used to be. It's quite a bit lower than it is now. But this area right here used to be a pit, had a lot of drainage problems. So there's a ton of drainage underneath all of this. These decorative gravel areas not only serve an aesthetic purpose, they also serve to drain any runoff water that we have coming from any rain in this backyard area. So one thing that I really enjoy are planting pots, and you can see right here we have this beautiful Japanese maple. This is an orangeola, and what we've done to really highlight it, you can see we put some sweet potato vine in there as well as some of these petunias. It did just rain here, so these flowers are a little sad right now, but after they dry up a little, they'll perk back up. This is gonna look absolutely beautiful. All of this is gonna be spilling over the sides, and you know, with the color of this maple, this dissectum right here, it's just gonna be stunning. I look forward to seeing this develop. We'll see, maybe we can share some update videos with you after the end of this summer when this looks like it's doing really well. If you don't have any hens and chicks, I highly recommend you get some. These are one of my favorite sedums. And if you take a look, you can see how interesting they are. These are really drought resistant and they're very low growing. They're a spreading sedum. So, you know, one of the things that we're hoping to do is to cover this entire space with these hens and chicks. I think it's gonna create a very interesting background to this water feature right here. And you know, this wall right here can double as a seat if you just wanted to sit and hang out. So one thing about these hens and chicks, when you wanna spread them, it's really interesting because they have all these little babies. And so the larger part of the plant is the hen, and you can see all the little chicks right here. This chick is almost ready to hatch, and you take this little guy and all you need to do is just find a part of the ground and stick it in there, and it will eventually root itself and you will continue to have this space fill in. So, you know, it's a super fun plant. I love the texture, I love the colors, and I love the different varieties. Go out and find you some hens and chicks. So sedums are one of my favorite plants. They're drought tolerant and, you know, they're just almost indestructible. They do require a little bit of water, but the fun thing with sedums is that you can just pick them and drop them and they can take root wherever you want. For instance, you can see right here that we put some of this stone crop. This is Angelina lemon zinger stone crop that we've put in the cracks of this wall. Ultimately, what's going to happen is that's going to take off and it's going to start filling in. I love putting in little ground covers, adding those little touches, those pops of color. Right here, you can kind of see we've done the same thing. This is some red creeping thyme right here, and this is really gonna thrive and love this little space in this crack. That thyme's just gonna continue to grow all the way down in this area. It's gonna continue to spread over the face of the rock. So, you know, one of the exciting things when constructing a wall is thinking about plants and how they can go into these little nooks and crannies. I think that over time it really develops into a mature looking landscape, and I highly recommend if you have walls to think about different kinds of things you could put in there, make it look more natural. Over here we've got a purple pugster. Look at this butterfly bush and how beautiful it looks. This is a pollinator that the bees and the butterflies are going to enjoy all summer long. You can see how these little cone flowers are starting to open from the bottom, and towards the top slowly open up into these small little insignificant flowers, but together create a really nice looking plant. Moving on, you can see that we have some yarrow here. This yarrow is about to open up and it's going to spread and fill in this area. Planted with the yarrow, we do have some daffodil bulbs, so we have a little bit of seasonal interest from the spring, and then we've got some summertime interest as well. To continue playing with different textures, different colors, we like to incorporate grasses. Grasses, they offer a really nice, airy, light effect to the landscape. They grow quickly, so if you want to fill in an area and have it look nice that season, grasses are a great option for that. In this landscape, you can see we've been going through a drought, so it's been a little difficult because this is a new installation. We do have a couple of grasses that have died here, but right now with this weather, we are receiving some rain, so hopefully they should bounce back. We'll continue to monitor them. While we're talking about some sedums, have you heard of Miner's Mallow? Take a look at this euphorbia, and you know, this thing looks incredible. Look at the flowers on that. One of the special things about this plant is the color. This is a fairly toxic plant, so if you are working with it and handling it, you cut it, make sure that you're wearing gloves, and any sap that comes out, don't touch your face because you could literally go blind. Let's move on and take a look at some of these other features that we have. Over here is a very special area that we're developing. This is what we call our caldera. The idea for this is, imagine you're in the middle of the ocean and there's a volcano that explodes. Well, this is the result of the volcano that's exploded. These rocks are gonna have all these interesting shapes. They're also gonna have all these different ground covers and plants that we've planted in here to spread through it. My original idea was to just have one focal point and to put moss on this, cap it so that we had this green mossy knoll with just one focal point. We do have this Cherryman Chamaecyparis right here for our focal point, and what this is going to kind of represent is the smoke coming out of the top of the volcano. And you can see the structure of this plant, how interesting it looks, and it kind of does look like smoke. Over here in this area where I'm standing, we're gonna get some turquoise rocks. So this is gonna be the water, just kind of in front and wrapping around. So we got our little volcanic island with all these different little species of fun plants. You can see here, we've got more hens and chicks. I tell you what, I love hens and chicks, all the different varieties, but they're just so interesting. And the more that you can have, you know, it makes for a really nice and unique kind of rock garden setting. We do have some other plants in here that are more tropical, so some of this stuff we are treating as annuals, but for the most part, everything in here is a perennial, and it should return. It should also fill in nicely over time. Let's take a look at these turquoise rocks right here, because you can really kind of see the effect that this is going to make for representing water. And we just want this to kind of wrap around. You can see that we have this geotextile as a soil separator. to help prevent any of that ground from coming up and basically eating these rocks. It becomes a maintenance nightmare. So this is a good option for a soil separator. Let's take a look at some more of these plants that we have in here. This Brunera right here, look at this silvery green foliage on this. This is gonna have these really delicate blue flowers in the spring, and I really like this for a shade garden option. These will spread fairly quickly too, so if it's something that you're having issues finding a shade garden plant, this would be a really good option. Just be careful, the rabbits do like to eat it. Other plants that we have in here, we've got different types of ferns. We've got some Japanese painted silver ferns. We also have some maidenhair ferns. And then we also have these little steppable ground covers, and you can see how interesting these are and what kind of effect it's going to make when they start filling in between these cracks. I think after year 3 or 4, we're going to want to come in here to reevaluate what's happening and make some decisions on what we're keeping and what we're moving. But ultimately, you know, this is going to be something that is going to rotate and change over time, and I think ultimately end with a mossy knoll with just one focal point. So we'll see how this develops. Oh, I forgot to mention, you got to check this out right here. Look at this. Sometimes in the pallets of rock that we get, we find these little surprises, and this is definitely one of those. This is a fossilized tree right here, Lepidodendron, and this was something that was native to this area. It's a very scaly looking tree that doesn't have any branches until the very top. Almost kind of looks like a fern crossed with a palm tree. We'll throw a graphic up to identify or show you what it looks like, but I just thought this was super cool and we just had to highlight it. You know, I really want to thank you guys for joining us out here and watching this episode. This is a very special garden. We're gonna have tons of updates, so I hope you stick around to see how everything develops. I'm Chris DeBow, and thanks again for watching this episode. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and again, thank you for watching.